Okay, fourth grade, today you can go ahead and check your answers, and if you got the same answers that I did for your multiplication, division, and your prime numbers, and you've shown your work, then you can go ahead and fast forward on to the main course of your math buffet today. Otherwise, you need to stay with us and watch the video to find your where you made a mistake and then fix it on your paper. Okay, so I'm going to start out with prime numbers. Today, for prime numbers, I'm just going to, again, make my little t-chart. I know that 1 and itself is always a prime number, and then I'm going to try other numbers until I get back up to that number, or I know that I've used all that I can. Okay, I can't do 2 because 7 is odd. Okay, 3 would be 3, 6, and 9, so that doesn't work. 4 would be 4, and then I'm already over 7, which would be 8. So I know that the only two factors of 7 are 1 and 7, making 7 a prime number. So that's why that's circled over here. Okay. 12. Ooh, you know what? Right away, I know 1 and 12. And then I also know that it's even, so that would be 2 and 6, making this a composite number. Now, there are more factors. I also have 3 and 4. But once I get 2 and 6, I can stop because I know that it's composite at that point. Okay. 17. 1 and 17. Can't do 2 because it's odd. 3 would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, so no. 4 would go to 4 times 4 is 16, and then 4 times 5 is 20, so no. 5 would have to end in a 0 or 5, so that doesn't work. 6 would be 6, 12, 18, so no. 7 would be 7 and then 14. 8 would be 8 and then 16, and then 9 is 9 and then 18, which goes past 17. So since I found no others that land on there, and I've already gone past my my number I'm looking for with a, then I know that that's the only one, and 17 is prime. Okay, and then 27. Okay, I have 1 and 27. It's odd, so I can't do 2. Now, when you're learning divisibility rules, we talked about 3's divisibility. You can add 2 plus 7 and know that it's 9. Since 9 is divisible by 3, so is 27. 3 times 9 is actually 27. Okay, since I found another one, I don't have to go any further. I could, but I don't need to. Okay. So then I have 73. 73 is a pretty large number, so you would think that it would have a factor or two other than 1 and 73, but you'll find out that we actually have to try quite a few to find out. Okay, so 2 doesn't work. Okay, this is where your divisibility rules kind of help you, because you could do 7 plus 3 and get 10 and know that it's not divisible by 3. Okay, 4, it has to be even to be divisible by 4. 5 would end in a 0 or 5. 6, well, I know that 6 times 12 is 72, so 73 wouldn't work. 7 times 10 is 70. Another 7 would be 77, so that doesn't work. 8 times, let's see, 7 is 50. No, that doesn't help me. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 10 is 80. So I'm jumping all around it, but not on it. So 9 would be 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 8 is, 9 times 7 is, 63. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 9 is 81. So we're all around it, but not on it. 10 doesn't work because it doesn't end in a 0. Okay. So at this point, I'm probably safe to say that it doesn't work, but you would also want to try like 11, 12, even like 13, 14, okay? And so you would have to divide all those. This one actually only has 1 and 73, and so this is also a prime number, okay? All right, today with multiplication and division, I'm only going to do one strategy, okay? I'm going to do partial products on this one and long division on this one, okay? So when you break this, it's into 50 plus 4. When you break this, it's 30 plus 2. Then I'm going to take 50 times both parts, 30, and 50 times 2. Then I'm going to take the top 4 times 30 and 4 times 2. Then I'm going to do all my zeros, 1, 2, just 1, and then none on that one. Then I have basic facts to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10. And then 5 times 3 is 15. I need to make sure I keep that 1 in its own column. Okay. And then 0, I'm adding. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2. 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7, and then 1,728 is my answer. Okay? I'm going to do long division on this one, so that would be dad, mom, sister, brother, Rover. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat. Okay. So this one's interesting because when 7 comes to the door, he meets 5. 5 is less than 7. So if your first digit is less than what you're dividing by, then you can't do it. Okay? And so what you would normally do is you would multiply times 0, and then you would bring it down. But you could actually know that if the first digit is less than a divisor, then you need to use the first 2 digits. Okay? So the first 2 digits are 54. So if I know my multiples of 7, I'm going to list them today because those are a little bit more tricky for me. And you could use your red folder in this case. I'm just going to do them from memory. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to stop there. If I need more, I'll go more. Okay, but I've gone past 54, so I need the one right before, which is 49, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th multiple. So 7 times 7 is 49. When I subtract, well, I'm not going to regroup anything. I'm just going to count up from 49. Get 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. That's 5. Now I'm bringing down the 2. Now 7's asking 52. How many groups of 7 can we make? And 7 responds with, again, 7. 7 times 7 is 49. I subtract. Then I count up again. 50, 51, 52. That's 3. Now I'm going to bring down the 8. And I'm looking for the one right before. So 35 doesn't go over, 42 does. So I'm going to stop at 35, which is the 5th multiple. 5 times 7 is 35. And then I get, since there's nothing else to bring down, this goes up and becomes my remainder of 3. Okay, at this point, it's time to move on to our main course. Really quickly before we do that, I want to look back at yesterday's main course because we kind of got cut off. The only thing that you guys probably didn't see was that a square is a parallelogram with 4 right angles and 4 equal sides. So the reason we made this chart yesterday is because it's going to be helpful for you as you start naming quadrilaterals and classifying them. So for example, a square is also a parallelogram, and it's a rectangle, and it's a quadrilateral. So if you trace the arrows up, you can give a square all of these names. Because a square, while it has all these things, it also has exactly 4 sides, which makes it a quadrilateral. It also has 2 pairs of parallel sides, which makes it a parallelogram. And it has 4 right angles, which also makes it a rectangle. So you can name a square lots of things. Okay? Same thing with like a rhombus could be called a parallelogram or a quadrilateral. But the more specific name is a rhombus. Okay, and so as we go through here, we're going to go for the most specific name today in our main course. So I'm going to keep my little chart handy. And then I'm going to turn over to the back for Tuesday. And you'll notice that today we have to name the following shapes and then explain the attributes that helped you decide what to call them. Okay, so I'm going to start with my chart. I'm just going to put it in front of me. Okay, and I'm looking at this shape. Does it have exactly 4 sides? Yes. So I could call this a quadrilateral. Before I stop there, I want to see, are there anything else I could call it? So I'm going to follow the arrows. Could I call it a parallelogram? Is it a quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides? Well, right now, I only see this side as parallel. These 2 sides are not. So it can't be called a parallelogram. Okay? So then I'm going to look at trapezoid. Is it a quadrilateral with only 1 pair of parallel sides? 1 pair of parallel sides. Yeah. Okay, so it could be called trapezoid. Now, is it another one? Is it any shape that has 4 sides but none are parallel? No, because I have one that is parallel. So the best name for this would be a trapezoid. You could also call it a quadrilateral, but the best name is trapezoid. And when I know this shape is a trapezoid, because, and I'm looking down at the definition of trapezoid, well, it has 4 sides and only 1 pair of parallel sides, okay? Because it has 4 sides and only 1 pair of sides is parallel. Okay? So now I'm going to go down and I'm going to do the next one. Same course. I'm going to start at the top of my chart and I'm going to work my way down. Okay? So this shape right here, shape Y, is it a quadrilateral? Any shape that has exactly 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes. So now I'm going to check each of these things. Okay? Follow the arrows. A quadrilateral with only one pair of parallel sides. So it looks like these are parallel. It also looks like these are parallel. So does it have only one pair? No. Does it have none for other quadrilaterals? No. A quadrilateral with two pairs of parallel sides. So we could call this shape a parallelogram. But before I settle on parallelogram, I'm going to go down even more, and I'm going to see if I can give it an even better name. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Okay, and now I'm looking at, could it be a rectangle or a rhombus? Okay, a parallelogram with 4 right angles. Well, are these right angles? The best way to check that is to use another sheet of paper instead of getting out a protractor and just see, does it match the corner of that paper? Exactly. Yeah, it does. Okay, do all of them. Yeah, that one matches too. And then that one matches. And that one matches. So we have 4 right angles here. Okay, so I could call it a rectangle. I'm going to keep going. Let's check rhombus real quick. A parallelogram with equal sides. Well, the best way to check that is if you have a ruler, you could measure. But also you could just, what I do is put a little line on the corner, a little line here, and then I just rotate around and see if it's the same length. And it is. Okay, since all 4 sides are parallel, then, or I'm sorry, equal, we could also call this a rhombus. So now we're going to go down, and because it has 4 right angles and 4 equal sides, we're actually going to name this a square. Okay? And you would use the definition to write your reason why. So I know this is a square because, and then you would write exactly what you see here. It has 4 sides and 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. Okay, if you need to pause to catch up, you can do that. I'm going to keep going. The name of the shape down here. Okay, I'm going to start at the top again. Does it have 4 sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. And then we're going to check to see, are they parallel or not parallel? That's our next check. Okay, so are these parallel? If I extended these out, would they ever touch? I think they would. Okay, so this one's parallel to this one, and then are they parallel this way? Yep. So I have 2 sets of parallel lines, so that makes it not a trapezoid, but a parallelogram. Okay, I could call it a parallelogram, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to go on and check my chart. Okay, could it also be a rectangle? A parallelogram with 4 right angles. Well, I'm going to check those corners again. Okay, so you can see on this corner right here, if I line the edge of the paper up with the line up here, my paper actually goes down this way. It doesn't match this line. Okay, so that's not a right angle. And same thing up here. If I line it up with the edge of the paper, the line, okay, then the line for the shape underneath is actually going underneath. It's not matching my paper corner. Okay, so that means it's an acute angle in that case. So those are not right angles. So I could go over here. Is it, though, a parallelogram with 4 equal sides? Okay, are all these sides equal? I'm going to use my paper trick again. I'm going to count or check them. It's about from here to here, and then I'm just going to rotate around. Yep. Yep. And last one, yep, that one's all equal. So right now, we could call it a rhombus because it has 4 equal sides. Okay. Now, when we check square, did it have the 4 right angles to be a rectangle? No. So it can't be a square. It has to be a rhombus, a parallelogram, or a quadrilateral. Okay. In this case, we're going to use the most specific name, which is a rhombus. Okay. All right. I'm going to say that you could go ahead and fill out the "I know this shape is a rhombus" section on your own using your chart. Okay. Now, I want to get to this last section. It asks, is shape Y a rectangle? So go back and look at shape Y. Okay, shape Y is right here. Is it a rectangle? Explain why or why not. So if we named it a square, 4th grade, then it could be called any of the things above. Okay, so is a square also a rectangle? Yes. So when I write down, yes, it is a rectangle. Why? Because, well, what's the definition of a rectangle? A rectangle is just a shape, a parallelogram with 4 right angles. Okay, does it have 4 right angles? Is it a parallelogram? Yes, because it is a parallelogram with 4 right angles, and you can finish that definition on your own. Okay, go ahead and do your desired item after you're done with this.